I've been thinking a lot recently about why I keep making YouTube videos, even though I'm still not monetized, and even though it's been a lot slower and more tedious than I originally had hoped it would be. And I think the reason for that honestly comes back to an interest I've had ever since being a little kid, and that was visual storytelling. When I was younger, this came out in the form of stop motion animation and then eventually some live acting with my friends, but it's always been an interest of mine. And over the years, I've kind of had to change and adapt the way, depending on how life went. And it's never been because I lost interest in an area, but more of because life changed and I had to kind of adjust as needed. So this video isn't going to be about growth hacks or a way to make your channel grow or whatever. It's just me being honest about my journey that's led me to the point where I'm at right now on YouTube. And why I'm still here making videos, and I still plan to be, and just, yeah, kind of get to know me a little bit more. So, yeah, kind of going back, first got started in video filming stuff when I was probably around like 11 or 12, doing some Lego stop motion videos. I loved how I could take my imagination and then turn it into something that people could see and tell a story through. Made a lot of silly animations about that, and then right out of high school, my buddy and I started a YouTube channel, just a bunch of really silly videos, no real point to them, but we were learning through the process, and I really enjoyed that a lot. And then that was right after high school, and so then around that time, you know, college started, and my friend and I, we kind of got busy, started having our own lives, so I stepped away from making videos for a while because I had other priorities, other responsibilities at that point. So did college for a while, got a career, started working, got married, started having a family. And so all these things made me kind of pause on making content and still doing videos, but I still really enjoyed doing that stuff. And so then, this is about 4 years ago or so, I actually started to get back into YouTube, trying to do what I originally loved at the very beginning, doing stop motion animation. I had a fun little channel, Gameitize. But at that point, I had 2 kids, 2 young kids at home, and I realized that the stop motion genre video probably was not the best as a husband and a father, wanting to be intentional with my time, with my wife and my kids. And so I made 2 whole episodes for that channel. Probably spent easily over 100 hours just on those 2 episodes. I realized I needed to pivot. And so I stopped that channel, and that's around the time where I started Gameitize, because another interest of mine that I've always enjoyed doing is just making silly games. This is something I did before I started making videos about it. Long before that, I would actually be the guy where like, hey, this would be a really fun party game. And so I would make a Hobbit-themed card game for someone's birthday, or something else that I did. I made an escape room for my wife to give her tickets to a football game that she really wanted to go to. And that was kind of like the big reveal. And so all the things that I've done on my channel are just because most of it is stuff that I enjoy doing on my own anyway. And so I figured, hey, I might as well make videos about it and share these ideas with other people. And I think a lot of people have appreciated seeing that stuff. So that's kind of what led to the whole Gameitize thing. Now, with all of those pivots that I made, you know, whether it was, you know, it was stopping the Gameitize and going to Gameitize, it was always because I knew what my priorities were. I think one thing that's really important, that's hard with YouTube, is that it can be easy for it to start taking up all of your time, and it just become constantly all you think about all the time. And so something that's been kind of grounding for me is to just always remember what my priorities are. And for me personally, it is my faith, it's my family, and then after all those things comes my work or YouTube. And so I want to make sure that I am taking care of those things in that order. And so Since YouTube comes after faith and family, I don't want to sacrifice time with my kids or my wife to go work on YouTube stuff. And so because of that, I haven't been as consistent with posting stuff on here as maybe I'd like to be. I've got a lot of ideas and fun games and stuff that I want to do, and I'm looking forward to posting on the channel, but the time to put into it isn't always there, especially when I get sick kids like I got at home right now, or whatever it might be. Sometimes I have to help out a little bit more, and I'm super grateful and I'm glad to do it, but it definitely means that consistency on this channel goes down a little bit as a result. I also want to give my wife a huge shout out here because she has been super supportive of me throughout this whole journey, even stepping in and playing a few games with me on camera, which she has hated doing, but I can't tell you how much having my wife's support in this has made such a huge difference. So definitely want to give her a shout out here. And yeah, YouTube, it's not as easy, not quite as fast as I had originally planned, but I am wanting to make sure that I keep my priorities where they're at. And so it means my growth is a little bit slower than I originally planned. And for me, that's okay right now. Because for me, the most important thing is making sure that I don't let YouTube consume my life, and I keep my priorities where they belong.